It's Week 6 of the National Football League, and this one features your 2021 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jamar Chase. He was terrific last week, taking his catches for 124 total yards. It's the Bengals and the Saints coming up next.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Superdome in New Orleans. Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. We're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. Taken in at the 3. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Cincinnati's offense takes the field, and leading the way for the reigning AFC champs is last season's comeback player of the year, a man who needs no introduction, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow could have won Comeback Player of the Year last season simply for his statistics. 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns through the air. But he brought the entire Bengal organization on a comeback after 5 straight losing seasons. First with a division title, then an unexpected AFC title, and led the team to their 3rd Super Bowl ever. And he had them less than 2 minutes away from winning it for the first time. Keep an eye on Joey B. He expects to bring a Super Bowl.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Jamar Chase, 73 yards. And the Bengals will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points.
That penalty is declined.
Evan McPherson for the extra point. He hasn't missed an extra point all season, and he won't miss this one either, and it's 7-0. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They're led out by a 3-time Pro Bowler, owner of over 35,000 passing yards in 11 seasons, the veteran Andy Dalton.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
Flushed out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
Boy, tough spot here as they approach the line of scrimmage. A long way to go to try to pick up this first down. Dalton, he gets it to Thomas. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Uses the stiff arm. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. Jamar Chase hoping to be at center stage yet again as the offense returns to the field. He's well on his way to a 1,000-yard season, maybe on pace to just tear past that, Charles. Defensively, they need to pay a little bit more attention to him.
Yeah, I think so, because remember, throwing the football, that can shred a defense quicker than anything else, because as soon as the catch is made, he still has the ability to, yards after catch, get downfield, gain even more, score touchdowns, all of that. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch as this progresses, to see how they defend him and how he changes up his game in order to try and keep getting open.
A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And taken down just shy of the 40. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. 2nd down and 7. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
McPherson on for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tiny 2-play drive that time. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive. They find themselves in a good-size hole here, and a good-size hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 14 carries, 97 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, to no one's surprise, he gets an early rep right there, and they've been playing their best ball this season as they built this winning streak. And that includes the ground game, where he's kept the offense productive and put them in position to win ball games. The question now is, can this defense that he's facing do what others haven't and finally put a stop to this streak?
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. Ready for the 2nd quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. Here's Kamara trying to run for it as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard. Andy Dalton. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
To throw again on 2nd down. Dalton throwing out right here, caught by Olave. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Back to the ground, it's Kamara. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. 2 minutes to play, 1st half. It's 14-0. 2nd and 12. To throw here, Dalton. And his throw is going to be incomplete. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive.
Makes it 3rd down and 12 yards to go.
Here's Dalton. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. They came with a safety blitz, and Daxton Hill got home. Blake Gillikin on the punt now on 4th down. We'll call that a 41-yard punt. The net a little greater, though, following a loss on the return. And the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. There's a look at receiver Jamar Chase as the Bengals get set to go on offense. He has certainly made the most of his catches so far, both of them going for touchdowns here in half number 1.
And we've never met a team that doesn't talk about getting off to a fast start and featuring guys that they want to have the ball early. We're seeing both of those come into play here. Off to an incredible start, got their feature guy going, and now everyone else should have opportunities.
And quickly they get to the line. Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. That's complete to the tight end Sample. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. Meanwhile, Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase. So we have reached halftime here, and well, we'll move right through the break then, skipping halftime and back to the field for the start of the second half. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Saints going to go on offense first, and they trail here as we begin quarter number 3. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Saints set to go here to begin the 3rd quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second? The ball is out. Kamara fumbled it. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So it's kind of more of the same offensively. This was a team needing to come out in this 3rd quarter with a little fire. Instead, they put the ball on the ground.
And you know that has to be the...
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure
Previous
that they
play
have
is
it
under
right.
review.
Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On 2nd down, Kamara. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. 3rd down now. And those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. Here comes the Saints punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's taken on the 25. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. So here are the Bengals set to take over. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Gets through, and now an opening. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Mixon with a 1st down carry. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Once again, they run with Mixon. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a 1st down.
a gain of 3.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And now they will throw it with Burrow. Touchdown, Bengals! Jamar Chase with touchdown number 3 in the game and 6 on the year. And the Bengals add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. McPherson on for the point after. And it is now 21-0. That time a 6-play drive. And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And their 4-game win streak very much in jeopardy as they go to work here late with a 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
It's now 2nd and 10 at the 25.
Here's Dalton. He finds his man Johnson. Finding room at midfield. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Passing, it's Dalton. And that one going to come up short. Low throw. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And oh, it'll be intercepted. And the Bengals are going to get the football back as we have reached the 2-minute warning. They try to eat some clock with Mixon. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. And now they're in the hurry-up. Throwing on 2nd and long. Burrow. Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is launched by the quarterback, you throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB, and oftentimes you're able to knock it away, as we just saw there.
The Bengals bring out their punter now. Always a good sign. And from their own end zone, it's a fake. And the most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild. And at the end of all that, it winds up at safety. All right, Charles, help me out here. 4th quarter, you've got the lead, and you run backwards into the end zone. You're just trying to do too much.
I almost don't have words for it. But, you know, every coach that we talk to talks about running backs or people running the football, running north-south, getting upfield. He went way in the opposite direction, and that's going to cost his team.
Yeah, it cost him big time. Still leading, but it costs him. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Throwing on 2nd and long. Dalton. And his throw here is incomplete.
Holding offense.
Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold him.
Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Offside. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Now whistles here. And they might have been a little too fired up to go after the punter. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. It's fielded at the 45.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
And it's fielded at the 34.
Offside. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Big 4th down here. It's Dalton. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. Throwing for Chase on the crosser. He's got it. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. Another touchdown here in the 4th quarter. And, Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And, partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams. And that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. So they came in here facing a very tall task going against the NFL's #1 ranked defense, but they got the job done. Charles, really an outstanding performance.
They certainly showed that they weren't going to be intimidated, didn't they? They took out the best defense in the NFL today, took it right to them, and that's against a group of guys that is used to shutting people down. To me, this is going to be a signature moment for this team season.
So for Cincinnati, they remain as hot as anyone at 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Saints, the loss will drop them to 4-2 on the year. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals.